So everybody's been a little bit surprised for why Bitcoin has been aggressively pumping back towards $100,000. Meanwhile, stocks are struggling to keep up and struggling to recover from their most recent 25% correction. Let's hear what Bloomberg has to say about Bitcoin potentially decoupling.
Good time, trading more like gold, just in time for gold to rocket higher. You can see that physical Bitcoin gold is up about 9% over the past month in April alone. That has dragged Bitcoin higher, especially in the last couple days. The crypto is up about 6% or so. And take a look at what has happened to tech stocks. In blue, you have the NASDAQ 100 actually lower by 6.5% or so. So Bitcoin may be taking on some safe haven characteristics, at least when it comes to its relationship with gold, Tim.
Physical Bitcoin is what Katie called it. Let's discuss this decoupling.
Okay, so physical Bitcoin is decoupling from risk assets and it's showing signs it's a risk-off asset. Isn't that interesting? Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin, because again, this video aired on Bloomberg the same week that BlackRock said if Bitcoin begins to decouple itself from risk assets, it will be riskier if you don't own any Bitcoin as opposed to owning Bitcoin. Have a think about how big that statement is for a minute. The world's largest asset manager is openly telling you it's riskier to not own Bitcoin if it decouples from risk assets. Again, Bloomberg thinks it's already happened. Bloomberg thinks we're there, which is pretty interesting. Now, let's see what the price of Bitcoin is doing. Is it backing up these speculations that we might have that Bitcoin is actually decoupling? So we see right now we touched $97,500 over the past. Let's look at the past month. So let's look at 4 of these weekly candles. Okay, so that's kind of marked the bottom. Bitcoin's up 31% from its bottom. Let's check in on what traditional assets are doing, because I think like the main, okay, they are actually getting a really nice bounce as well. They are recovering. They're still a little bit further down from their all-time highs than Bitcoin, but it looks as if all the markets right now are kind of bouncing back. So, hey, maybe Bloomberg doesn't know what they're talking about. Maybe Bitcoin is still coupled with traditional markets. And this kind of gets me into talking about what I wanted to talk about next. I think the real decoupling, it's not going to be when Bitcoin's at $100,000 a coin and, or maybe it's decoupling from the NASDAQ and the equity markets by a couple of percent each day. The real decoupling is going to occur when we do see an Omega candle. Okay, and now again, a lot of people don't believe we're going to see an Omega candle, but I just don't think we're going to see the true decoupling happen until we kind of see Bitcoin enter the last 3 to 6 months of its bull run. Because we do know the last 3 to 6 months of Bitcoin's bull runs are always the most interesting. They're the most exciting times. In 2017, what happened? Bitcoin rallied from $1,000 to what, $20,000 in 9 months. That's a 20x in only 9 months. And 2013, what happened? We saw 100x in the space of 12 months. So I think this is the kind of rally that a lot of new people to the Bitcoin space kind of don't remember that Bitcoin does do on a routine basis. 2020, that 2021 bull run, that was, I don't think that was a real Bitcoin bull run. I think that was a muted Bitcoin bull run. We've told you guys, I know a lot of you guys watching are probably entering the Bitcoin space or did enter the Bitcoin space in the past 3, 4, 5 years. And I commonly tell you guys, you haven't seen a real Bitcoin bull run. The volatility we've just started to see now, it's nothing compared to what we could see in the future. Again, if you are looking for somewhere to buy your Bitcoin, I always encourage you guys to check out what the Bitcoin Well is doing. They are our partner here on the YouTube channel and Brandon's YouTube channel, Green Candle, because they force you guys to self-custody your Bitcoin by default. And we're massive fans of self-custody. We don't believe you own the Bitcoin unless you take self-custody of your Bitcoin, which is why we're such massive fans of what the Bitcoin Well is doing. Okay, so whether you're a retail pleb looking for somewhere safe and secure to send your family and friend members, or whether you are a high net worth individual looking to buy Bitcoin over the counter, very tight fees, very tight spreads, low fees, we recommend what the Bitcoin Well is doing. They have a service for anyone who needs to get started on their Bitcoin buying journeys. We highly encourage you to check them out. Once you've bought the Bitcoin at the Bitcoin Well, I also always encourage you guys to check out what Stampseed is doing. Yes, it's essential that you put your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet. That's the most important step in Bitcoin. The second most important step that you can take when you self-custody your Bitcoin is writing down your 12 or 24 words. That is your Bitcoin. That's your Bitcoin private keys onto something that's not actually life-proof. Okay, I always encourage you guys, don't write down your Bitcoin backup words on paper. It's terrible. Put them on something like this. These are the titanium plates that Stampseed make. As you can hear, that's real metal, baby. Again, nobody knows where the price of Bitcoin is going to go or how it's going to behave, but I just don't think it's going to continue to get less volatile and more predictable. Financial markets do not become more predictable. Of course they don't. Otherwise, everyone would be a billionaire. The financial markets were very predictable. And everybody right now in Bitcoin seems to think they can predict Bitcoin. They seem to think that they know with certainty, oh, Bitcoin's only going to hit about $150,000 or $180,000 this year because some mathematician drew some fancy lines on a chart. That's a power law. All right. Again, strap in. We could see some volatility here in the next let's say next 6 to 12 months. Know what you guys own. Please know what you guys own. Continue to study Bitcoin. If you are going to sell a significant amount of your Bitcoin stack at 150 or 200K, just study Bitcoin. Study tax laws. Is it a good idea to sell Bitcoin, pay a 30 or 40 or 50% tax hit, and then try to rebuy Bitcoin 60, 70% lower? Is it worth the risk? As our man Bill in the chat says, government coupons are for buying sats. Gold is for buying jewelry. He sold all his stocks 5 years ago. Great move, Bill. I do love that. Government, my friend used to call them fun coupons. Because obviously, if you don't follow the government's rules, they're just going to take away your fun coupons and throw you in jail. And again, McLovin makes another great point here. Letters hands are selling their Bitcoin to BlackRock. And Saylor will be crying in the near future. Maybe that's because he doesn't hold his own keys. Who knows why Saylor will be crying. We do have some new Michael Saylor news I want to cover with you guys here momentarily that I think is going to affect a lot of things. More than anything, I think it's potentially going to affect the Bitcoin cycles that we're seeing play out because a lot of people are expecting these 4-year cycles to continue to repeat themselves. And again, I don't think a lot of people are prepared for what Bitcoin could do in its next move.